Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network.
You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven.
A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Thank you for playing that. Thanks, everybody, and welcome to another fun edition of What's Up with Kobylt and Friends. We're going to get right to it because my first guest is actually appearing on Bill O'Reilly in about 20 minutes. Mr. John Eastman, thanks a lot for coming on and giving us this time. How are you?
I'm well. And how's the connection here?
Connection's perfect. You said you're on your way to Bill O'Reilly, so you're in the car?
Yes, I am. And
okay.
I can pull over and transfer it just to the headset if we get a bad connection.
You got it. If we do, I'll tell you right away. So you are a law professor of and a constitutional law scholar. You're the former dean or current dean of the which one is it? Of the Chapman University School of Law?
Yeah. Former dean at Chapman University, and I'm currently the Henry Salvatori professor there.
That's a mouthful. Now, you resigned at one time because you were running for the California Attorney General. You lost, came in second to Steve Cooley, and of course, everybody knows that he lost that seat for U.S. Senate to Kamala Harris. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
On your way to Bill O'Reilly. So we're here to talk with you about Trump's immigration order. It's been the talk. People have been protesting about it, and you're here to sort of give us some facts about what's legal and what's not, just to set it up. I mean, the president imposed a temporary ban, a 120-day ban on travel by citizens of those 7 countries. And for those people who don't know what they are, I'll list them. You've got Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Iraq, Libya, and Syria are well known as ISIS hotbeds. And then you've got Somalia, Yemen, and Sudan, known to be hotbeds of al-Qaeda. And Iran, of course, is, so they are saying, is known for funding certain terroristic causes. So he has imposed a 120-day ban on those countries.
That's right.
Right.
And the press that's claiming this is a Muslim ban, it's just false. There are a lot of predominantly Muslim countries that this order does not apply to.
Right.
The reason it applies to these countries is that not only are they hotbeds of terrorism, but there's no existing government infrastructure that's cooperating with the United States that would allow us to vet people that are coming in from those countries.
All right, but a lot of people, hang on a minute. A lot of people are saying, then why isn't he stopping the flow from Saudi Arabia, from Pakistan, and other countries? Can you address that?
Well, sure. So Saudi Arabia has a viable government in place. They are cooperative with the United States. We're able to determine from Saudi Arabia, when we ask them information about who's seeking visas to the United States, we're able to get information on the people. Does that mean that there's not ever going to be a mistake made and somebody will get in like the 9/11 terrorists? We weren't even vetting at all in those days. But no, Saudi Arabia is being cooperative. We're not getting that kind of cooperation from Iran or Yemen or Somalia or the Sudan. And so until we can guarantee that the people we're giving visas to a right to enter the United States, that we can determine whether they're actually coming here to be a tourist or a student or coming here to launch bombs against our people.
Okay, but a lot of people are saying people who've come from those countries have in fact not launched any bombs. Therefore, you've got a lot of people protesting. They're saying, this isn't my country. Why are you banning those countries? How do you specifically address the protesters?
Well, so two things. There's one on the policy question and there's another on the legality of it. And the legality of it is very clear. There's a specific act of Congress that gives the president pretty much unfettered discretion to limit admission to aliens or a class of aliens from any part of the world if he determines that they may pose a threat to the United States, and to impose such a ban on any time for any amount of time he deems necessary in order to protect the security of the United States. That statute is very clear, and he cites it in the executive order, so there's no ambiguity here. And it's just not true. We've got a lot of people that have been trained in Yemen or trained in Somalia, that have tried to come into the United States, that have already gone in and committed acts of terror in Western European nations. We don't have to wait for another 9/11 to try and stop what these terrorist cells overseas are trying to do to the United States, which is to use our visa laws, to use our refugee programs, whatever. They said it to our face that this is what they want to do. They want to infiltrate using the refugee program. Well, if that's true, then we ought to impose some stricter standards on the refugee program to make sure we're not letting people who want to commit acts of terror into this country.
Okay, but again, those people are saying that it's racist, that there are also other countries that that the terrorism and terroristic acts are filtering through, and that in fact the president is not banning any sort of immigration from those nations. Address that.
Well, like I said, Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, we've got a viable government in place where they're helping us do the vetting. That's not true in Yemen or Somalia. But under their theory, if the president's order was even broader, they'd be comfortable with it, and I suspect they would still be protesting.
Well, that's what I was addressing. Yeah, that may very well be. What do you think about what Steve Bannon did? They're saying that. Do you think that he just took the fall for it? That Trump knew about what he was going to do with, by also preventing green card holders from coming in? What's your opinion on that?
Well, not just green card holders, but people that have been given a visa, those can be revoked at any time. The visa application specifically says on it that it is not a guarantee of access to the United States. What happened between the time those visas were issued and the folks arrived at a port in the United States was the rules changed. And so, could it have been handled a little more smoothly? Probably. But it didn't. It wasn't unconstitutional what was done.
I agree with that. Do you think that perhaps people are having a difficult time because of the way Trump goes about doing something? I mean, he really is. I know how he does his business deals, and he sort of walks in a room, this is how it's going to be, and walks out. He's not really explaining to people what he's doing. And quite frankly, neither are any of the journalists. You've got people on one side or the other. Everyone's arguing. Nobody's really sitting down to sort of break it down to people as to what he's doing. You think Trump could be more effective?
Well, I think part of it is he explained a lot about it during the campaign, and
right,
so
he did.
Doesn't want to just recover old ground. But he said we're gonna increase our vetting until the point where we can be more comfortable that the folks we're letting into this country are not terrorists seeking to attack the United States and our citizens. And those particular 7 countries, and by the way, he didn't make up the list.
I know, Obama did. I know. That was left over from the Obama administration.
There was a list of 2 or 3 countries in an act of Congress and authority given to President Obama to add other nations to that list for heightened scrutiny. And all Trump has done is take that and add one more layer of the heightened scrutiny. But it was President Obama that identified these 7 countries as particularly problematic for our ability to ensure the safety of the American people against terrorist threats.
Okay, 2 things. What do you think Trump can do to effectively get his message through to calm down a lot of the people and to let them better understand what he's trying to do? Because he's not done a very good job with that. I think his press... Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do, because no matter what he does, they're going to make up phony stories. The notion that this was unconstitutional, that it's a Muslim ban, that we hear repeated over and over and over again as if it's true, is a patent falsity. And so they're going to make up whatever they want to try and minimize the effectiveness of this president, because they don't like the agenda that he was elected to pursue. And so they're going to make up all sorts of things. And I don't think Trump can prevent them from doing that.
Well,
shy of arresting everybody, which is not what we do in this country.
You know what? I somewhat disagree. Being in the media, I have to tell you, I think a lot of people, especially people who are protesting and may not understand some of the facts, I think someone needs to stand up and explain immigration. A lot of people hear immigration, they're not really hearing illegal immigration. Illegal also does not mean that there's something wrong with these people, anything like that. It just means they don't have the proper paperwork. And in fact, no one really should be let in without the proper paperwork. And I think people are taking it offensively and personally when they hear immigration or illegal immigration, and they just take it upon themselves thinking that that's racist. That's number one. If he could have someone to explain that to people and explain that 40%, I believe, of the illegal immigrants that actually enter this country, actually, no, I'm sorry, forget that. 40% of the legal immigrants that enter this country they never go back, and we lose track of them. And then what's happening is we are absorbing that in terms of costs. And if he just would break it down, don't you think there would be a lot less dissension?
Well, I think you would, but
I think that's his job as a president, though.
I think they have. So if people would take the time to read the president's executive order on these 7 countries, for example.
Come on, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that.
In great detail why we're doing this.
Okay,
John,
you're a man of law. You're a scholar. You're going to do that. But your average guy and girl, and sometimes myself, aren't going to take the time to do that. So that's why he's there, and that's why he has press people in place to explain it to the average person, such as myself, my family, everybody else. This is what we're doing. We can't think that they're going to go home and read what he's planning. Forget it. And besides, getting through all that stuff is complicated enough. So I'm trying to impose something very simple. The people that he has in place to explain to the common person needs to be doing a better job. Then there would be a lot less dissension, in my opinion, and then people might understand this is a 120-day ban, 120 days. In terms of the refugees, it could be a little bit longer, to see what's the next step. Do you agree with me?
Well, sure. And, this is the problem in Republican White Houses a lot. They do try and explain this, and then what gets filtered out to the people is what the press decided to say. So, there's often a disconnect with what they tried to do at a press conference and what gets filtered out and carried. Obviously they should continue to try and explain this in greater detail so people understand it's not a Muslim ban. That's a falsehood put out by people who have been hostile to Trump from day one and even before. They need to keep reiterating that mantra to explain what's really going on.
Well, perhaps,
but I think it's incumbent on all of us, those in the media and those that comment on the media, to try and get that message out as well, because there is a huge filter on the media that makes it difficult to get that message out.
Right, and I'm someone I'm one of those kind of journalists who can explain it to both sides. Now, when you go on Bill O'Reilly later on, after you leave me here, Bill also has his own agenda, and he needs to sort of break it down, because he's got about 1 or 2 more viewers than I do. So he needs to break it down and explain this is what he's trying to do, so that people can understand. I guess that's my point. I understand what he's trying to do. Most protesters do not. I move in interesting circles, and a lot of my friends half the time don't really quite understand what's going on. I just think that's sort of the job of our executive in charge, and I think that he needs to hear that. That's not naturally the kind of guy he is, but if he wants to get, and frankly, now that I think about it, he actually has a pretty decent approval rating at the moment on what he's doing. But his numbers could get even higher if he could just reach some people who don't really get it. But obviously, go ahead.
And one of the things, he's kept his tweet account alive so that he has a direct communication that doesn't get filtered. Mm-hmm. But that's only 140 characters, and we got to figure out a way that he can lay out the case more broadly and more definitively.
Well, his press person, and instead of him getting up there and arguing half the time with the press, and we have the press to blame too. They're asking absurd questions and they're making it too personal. People need to stick to the facts and how it's going to really affect your average hardworking American and immigrant who's trying to get into the country legally. It just needs to be broken down. I guess that's my point. Because I don't really want to live in a situation where everyone's always arguing one side or the other. Let's explain it, and then let's give the guy a shot to try and move on. I did not vote for him. My husband was a very well-respected talk show. You probably know him. He did vote for him. We're a bit of a divided family. We talk about this stuff all the time at home. So there's my solution to this.
Well, and I will say, to ask the question, should we be doing everything we can to stop terrorists from coming to our shore?
Absolutely.
I think the American people would overwhelmingly say absolutely. And if you tie that, say, well, this is the step, a series of steps that was initiated by Congress and President Obama to try and restrict immigration from terrorist-producing countries.
There you go.
And
Bingo.
I've just ratcheted that up a step because I don't think they were doing an adequate enough job.
Bingo. You know what? You need that job as his press secretary. You said that. That was very eloquent. You did a terrific job right there. Anything else you can add before I let you go to Bill O'Reilly? And please say hello to Bill O'Reilly. We're friendly with him as well. Will you do that for me?
I will certainly do that. He and I are going to be talking about what California is doing, making the state of California a sanctuary state in violation of federal law. So we're going to talk about the legal implications of all of that.
Will you come back on my show and talk about that for me? Because I don't have any time. We're running out, actually.
Sure, be happy to.
Would you? Okay. Any parting thoughts, though, about what we were discussing before I let you go?
Well, I think it's important. There's enough information out there on the internet, including the White House executive order itself, that people can look to, and it lays out the case, and particularly folks in the media, instead of perpetrating false statements like this is a Muslim ban, need to understand exactly what it is so that we can help counter what is clearly a political agenda to distort what's happening. And I think it's important that we all, as citizens, try and remind ourselves that the first duty of the president and the federal government is to protect our citizens. And this is a step, I think, in the right direction. And I think the more we talk about it in pure factual terms, and hope the administration itself lays out the case as clearly as you and I have just now.
Right, and that's my point.
That we'll get more of our fellow citizens on board.
Right, and remember, that's my point. I don't think people are going to go home and read this stuff. They just need people, sort of a bipartisan, to get out there and explain this is what we're doing. Give us a chance. Anyway, John Eastman, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate the conversation. And again, say hello to Bill O'Reilly for me, will you?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
That was terrific. Now, we were running a little bit over with him, so Kurt, my wonderful board operator, do we have some video ready from the SAG Awards? Because from that conversation, we were then addressing celebrities who, rather than just accept their award and walk off the stage, have really taken it upon themselves to talk about what's going on in the country from their own point of view. And
well, we have a couple clips. Which one would you like to play?
Surprise me.
All right, I'll do the Hidden Figures acceptance speech.
Okay.
Oh my God. Steady yourself, heart. Talk to me, God. Listen. This film is about unity. We stand here as proud actors, thanking every member of this incredible guild for voting for us, for recognizing our hard work. But the shoulders of the women that we stand on are three American heroes: Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson. Without them, we would not know how to reach the stars. These women did not complain about the problems, their circumstances, the issues. We know what was going on in that era. They didn't complain.
Why don't we go?
They focused on solutions.
Can you quickly?
Therefore, these.
Yes.
Can we go to Ashton Kutcher very quickly, and also my third clip?
Of course.
Okay, thanks. His is really quick.
Good evening, fellow SAG-AFTRA members and everyone at home, and everyone in airports that belong in my America.
Next clip. I'm just getting little sound bites here to make my point. Where are we going? Do we have Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Do we have her queued up?
Yep.
Okay,
It's
go ahead.
playing right now. Froze on us. Hold on 1 second.
It's all right. I got all the time in the world.
You and your team make great content,
What the heck
and
is
you
that?
want it seen.
It's an ad.
Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Nope, it's playing.
It is? Okay.
Whether the Russians did or did not hack the voting of tonight's SAG Awards, I look out on the million or probably even 1.5 million people in this room, and I say this award is legitimate, and I won. I'm the winner. The winner is me, landslide.
Good enough. Thank you. Yeah, I just have something to say about that for a moment. Is anyone else here are you a little tired of hearing about an actor's opinion? I get it. They feel like they have a point of view and they want to get it out there, but don't people just sort of tune in and want to see the dresses and want to see what people look like and the makeup? You get what I'm going? I've got a makeup artist in the studio, David Hernandez, who actually we had planned to come on for a couple of weeks before all of this was happening with Donald Trump. But don't you think people are really more interested in just seeing that and having a little bit light? As opposed to thinking, oh my gosh, again, I can't escape this stuff.
Yeah, but these people aren't robots. Everyone has an opinion, and they want to get it out there. And I understand that, I tune in for this, but they have their opinions as well.
Yeah,
So,
I
mean,
guess.
everyone does.
Personally, I'm just tired of it. What do you think, David? David Hernandez,
yeah.
esteemed makeup artist. You've
I
worked
try
on
to,
all kinds of incredible people. Did you work on anybody this year at the SAG Awards?
Not this year. Not this year. I was really, really busy.
So
doing other things, working on.
You've
other
worked
items.
on some of the super cool people in Hollywood, in my opinion. You've worked with Courtney Love and Lindsay Lohan, kind of make them look a little bit edgy. And
Yes. My girls, I love them very, very much.
I want to look like them. I mean, look at that. Oh,
You
wow.
can, you
I can.
can.
Can you do that for me?
Definitely.
Because, I just went to the inaugural ball, and I had, I was invited there as a journalist. Please, don't beat me up. So I went there, and I had to put my makeup on and my gown in the porta potties next to the media center. This is a true story. And I hardly had any makeup on, and I looked at my pictures, and I thought, I would have looked really good if I just had a little more of this and a little of that.
But let me tell you about makeup. Like with doing a makeup, like being a makeup artist, the most important thing I believe is the skincare, the skin, because when you look at someone like you, we're not looking at the eyeshadow. We're not looking at, the drama. It's beautiful skin.
How's my skin?
Your skin looks gorgeous and glowing.
I hardly have anything. I am not somebody who wears a lot of makeup. I have some friends in the studio. Mary, am I correct? There you go. She's got a thumbs up, Mary DiConcini. I will tell you, I don't. I just wear a little bit of base, even here. And I've got that Italian olive skin.
Yeah.
So what would you do? Take a look at me. What would you do to me? Would you do the eyes and bring them out?
Is this for what? Is this for walking the red carpet? Is it for going out? Is it for... Because you always have to take into consideration what you're doing.
All right, Kitty Wallace with Upward Bound House. What do you think? She's going to be our third guest, so I'm including her on this. I don't know. How about a photo shoot? I noticed the way I looked in my pictures, my eyes, which I think pop generally in person, just sort of looked like they were there. So what could I have done to bring them out?
To bring them out more, you can probably add a little bit more like liner to them using on the top and on the bottom. Because people say it makes your eyes look smaller, but it doesn't. It really brings focus.
I want the cat eye thing. I just think that's
so the
really
cat eye
sexy.
is great because you could just pull it right up. You could pull it right up, but the most important thing is really clean underneath the eye so that it's light against dark, so that it really stands out.
Can you do a little bit for me or not really? Would it be better maybe Kitty, who is in our next segment to talk about the Upward Bound House, which is pretty outstanding. We have a little bit of time to see how you would do that for the average person who wants to look like all those people on the SAG Awards that we usually like to tune into just to see what they're looking like.
Definitely.
What do you think? Or do you want to work on me or... Go ahead.
Do you mind?
No problem. I have no makeup on,
Okay,
so
perfect.
have at it.
So
talk about
Not even mascara.
Talk about combining my guests. Oh, by the way, I don't even have mascara on. I mean, it's got like the whole lashes thing
You
going.
and I both.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Okay, so what I'm doing, look down at the floor.
And she's going to look really good. You better come over here and do it to me.
I'm using the Hourglass pencil. It's really, really like micro fine, and it's waterproof. You need things to be waterproof. You need things to be waterproof because if they're not going to last all night. So basically, I'm just lining, and the thing is getting that little flick in the corner.
What brand are you using?
This is Hourglass, and you can
Hourglass.
find this. A lot of the celebrities come in to Nigel's Beauty Emporium.
And where is Nigel's Beauty
Nigel
Emporium?
Beauty Emporium is in North Hollywood. It's on Magnolia. It's a pro shop, so you get a lot of celebrities and makeup artists, hairstylists going in there. But it's a nice place to shop. It's really calm. It's not crazy. But really, like when you're doing the liner, it's all about
She looks gorgeous already.
precision. Yeah, she's very
I could
pretty and
see it.
beautiful
Yeah, isn't
skin.
it? She didn't need anything.
Just flick that liner.
Oh, when you
up,
put it up.
open. And when you flick it up, it really just pulls it. It really
So
just
like up.
it pulls your eye up because you're not going to bring. This is the most important part. You're not going to bring the eyeliner down to that corner.
No.
Because if you bring it down to that corner, it's going to bring it down.
But it doesn't really look like you brought it up. Kitty, look at me over here. Oh, wow. It pops just
Yeah,
a little that you did.
Just a little bit.
Wow.
So you just flick it just a tiny bit. And I think liner is the most important besides mascara, and also a lip.
A lip. What does this mean?
Meaning, right now in season, we're using a lot of pop of lips, so darker tones. Like say.
Okay, wait a minute. In the land of getting your, lips done, I've never done anything like that. I've never done anything. What do you do if you don't want to go and get injected, but you want your lips to be fuller?
Well, you create illusions. You can grab a lip liner, or you can grab a...
Try to talk into the mic if you can.
Oh,
There you go.
sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, hi. Okay. So you can grab a lip color, and usually a darker one's going to be nice. You don't want to go too dark.
So now you're just applying not a liner, right?
This is lip. This is like a lip stain. This is by Kevin Aquan.
Oh.
And this is a long wearing. It's not going to be one of the like dry, matte lip colors that people are using right now. This is going to have a little bit more hydration.
And is that the lipstick, if you will, or is that something you put under a
No,
lipstick?
this is the lipstick.
Oh, wow.
But it stays on, which is nice.
And then do you line her after?
You can line her after, or because it's a dark color,
Right.
you can go right below the lip line. So
Oh.
then you create that illusion.
I really should have come here with no lipstick on. You know, Riley told me, our publicist said, Deborah, just don't even wear lipstick. I'm like, I can't do that.
But your lip color's nice because it's nude.
Mine?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nude because that's what's going on for next season. You know, is you're ahead of
Nude.
yourself.
I'm always ahead of myself.
You're
Believe me,
ahead of
David,
yourself.
I am always ahead of
Definitely
myself.
ahead of yourself.
No matter what I do, I just somehow fall into a trend. So thank you.
Yes, you're definitely ahead of yourself. But yes, the trend right now is definitely a deeper lip color and keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. If you take a
Kitty,
look at her.
over here. Oh, she's
No,
gorgeous.
like,
but she's
it's-
gorgeous anyway.
But
She's got
she's
just
beautiful.
So, yeah,
like
she really
her
is.
skin's amazing. Just a little bit of eyeliner, a little bit of mascara. Let's do a little bit by Terry mascara.
Okay, you know who I think is the best makeup in town, and this is how I want to look. When next time I get photographed on a red carpet, and I do go to red carpet stuff, I want to look like J-Lo. So how can you do that to me?
Oh,
I
girl.
mean, yeah, girl,
So,
I can do
no,
it. I
you
mean,
can-
you know,
you
we
can
kind of have
definitely
like
do
that
it.
similar look. You don't think I look a little like J-Lo?
You can definitely do it.
Little bit? No?
It's all, but see, it's all going back into skincare.
Skincare.
She pays a
Oh.
lot for skincare.
Incredible, but her eyes, you know, I noticed they've got lots of eyeliner and stuff on.
Yes.
I guess they're wearing fake lashes.
Of course they're wearing face lashes. Sometimes they're wearing 2 pairs of lashes.
Really?
Wow.
2 pairs of lashes. Not right now, not today for you.
I
don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you.
Why not? She could walk out of here looking like J-Lo. Tell me you wouldn't want that?
But speaking
Oh,
of
I know.
J-Lo,
I
Be
would.
chasing me down that
speaking
street.
of J-Lo, like you can use luminizing liquids. You know, like this is from Becca, and this is called Moonstone, and it's like
Hold on. What's a luminizing liquid?
luminizing liquid's gonna give you that J-Lo glow.
So is that foundation?
No, it's just a luminizer, so it's kind of transparent, but with luminosity to it. So what you do?
Oh,
is
does that
just-
highlight?
Yes, it's like a highlight.
Oh.
But it's liquid, and it's kind of it's light. It's not so opaque in color, so it just gives radiance. If you could look at the difference.
Oh, wow.
It gives
Gorgeous.
radiance.
Well, just
Oh.
for you. This is
But you
closer
know,
to
make sure that you get her, you know, her
Yes.
her tooth there if the lipstick
Definitely.
is too deep. Because she's my next segment. I can't have her talking with little lipstick on her lips.
Beautiful. Let me just add a little bit of color on the cheek, and then she'll be set, like ready to go. This is Hourglass also. And this brush that I'm using is an Artiste brush. It's
What
like
does that
one of
mean?
the softest brushes that you can find, and everything goes on much quicker and faster. This is beautiful.
It feels good.
Take a little bit of shine too, maybe just go right over the eye.
Ooh.
Because you don't want to wear
Nice.
too much eyeshadow. If you're wearing a lot of eyeshadow, then
The girls that I am looking at and admire seem to have a lot on the eyes, at least from what I'm looking at. No?
yeah, I mean it's because you have to
Maybe
balance.
it's the lashes.
You have to. It's the lashes.
So what do you do? Get
It
the
really
stick-ons,
is-
glue-ons? I mean,
So
what do
you get
people
like
do?
okay, like these are Monda Studio. These are like the Nigel's brand, and they're $2.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, they're $2. And you just basically take a little bit of glue.
Oh, you
and
gotta. They're not the natural sticky kind. You can't just
They're
put them
they're a
on
little
her.
sticky, but you want. I could try it.
Yeah, I want her to leave
to
looking
see.
super glam. She'll go home to her husband tonight and he'll be like, "What did you do today?"
Open. But look at the difference. Just look at the difference.
That's it. It's put
It's
the
the
other one
lashes.
on. She's gonna go
It's
home
the
looking
lashes.
like
It's
J Lo, just like I
definitely the lashes.
promised.
And
Wow.
I mean, $2. Come on.
Are they that easy to put on?
They're super easy to put on. Super easy to put on. Open, look down.
I don't like people touching my face. So if you were to do that to me today, I'd be like, "What? Don't do that."
Okay, so that's a good thing because
Yeah.
so you have to get to know people.
Oh, look at you. A
You have to-
glamazon.
you
A
have to get to
glamazon you are,
know
Kitty
people
Wallace.
so that they can touch your face. But see how simple? All I did was liner, lashes, a little shine, and a lip.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you very
You know?
much, David Hernandez.
No, you're welcome.
A little applause for David, please. Thank you. We have a very large studio audience here. Just in case you can't
Yay.
tell, you hear them all on the other side applauding, and I think they're applauding for you, Kitty. I'm telling you, do you not think it's the eyelashes that have really made it? And also, let's get her for a second. Okay, wonderful.
I did.
Yeah, we had
Wonderful.
those too.
Yeah,
So very quickly, David, if someone is at home and they want to look like the people that they're watching on the SAG Awards, the Grammys are coming up next. You've got the the Oscars.
Yes.
I mean, you've got all this coming up. What do you suggest? You're going to a party. You're going to a red carpet. For me, I'm going to be going to a couple of red carpets. I'm going to the Grammys, and I'm also going to be doing a few photo shoots. What would you do to me?
Well, what I would suggest, honestly, is getting yourself a pair of lashes, finding out, what's going to suit you. Don't be scared. People are always scared of lashes. I say don't do it because you can have nothing on the eyes and just put a pair of lashes on, you're good to go.
I love those
So I would say, practice with lashes, have fun with darker colors on the lips, or you can watch some of my videos on the Nigel's Facebook page.
What is that? So
That's
let's
Nigel Beauty.
Nigel, Nigel, Beauty.
Beauty. And every Wednesday and every Friday, we have live feeds.
What time? As long as it doesn't compete with
3 o'clock.
Okay, it doesn't compete with mine. I'm at 1 o'clock. No problem at all.
3 o'clock. 3
I'm 1
o'clock.
o'clock. He's 3 o'clock.
And you learn,
Just
and we
turn
do
right over.
tutorials of all different kinds of makeup. So you can always learn there. Little tips and tricks. We have people from all around the world watching, which is great.
So if I need, and again, if I need to have you over and do my work, do some work with me for something that I'm doing, you would be able to do that. Come with me, go to the photo shoot.
Yes, and I'd
would.
stay with you
You
the
would.
whole time.
Okay,
to
because
take care
that's
of you.
something good to know. Oh, because I need that. I need to be taken care of.
Yeah,
so,
but if anybody else needs help or anything, they can always find me at Nigel Beauty. I'm
Nigel
there
Beauty.
all the time. So I'm always there for you guys.
who is your favorite client before I let you go, or clients that you've worked
My
with?
favorite clients are my crazy girls, is Courtney Love and Lindsay Lohan.
They always look so hot, even when they look crazy. I think those girls look amazing. I love
Yeah.
what you do to them.
Thank
you so much
you.
for coming.
I appreciate
I
it.
really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having
Thank you.
me.
Thank you very much. Wow. Even bigger studio audience than 10 minutes ago. Thank you. Will you just stay for our next segment?
Yes, most definitely.
Because the work that Kitty does, Kitty Wallace with Upward Bound House. Kitty, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being so patient. Such an unbelievable sport. I mean, I'm not sure if you knew that you were going to come in here and
Did
end
not
up
really have that
leaving
idea.
and end up leaving looking like J-Lo. But you never know what's going to happen to you when you walk into my studio.
A
So
little conservative work outfit. I'm not quite thinking that.
no, the orange is a great pop. Listen to me. The orange is a great pop of color. So you look terrific. But to get serious about with the work that you do, I was brought in and I met you by a friend of ours, and you're with Upward Bound House, among other things, which is a nonprofit founded in 1991. It helps to mitigate the affordable housing crisis in West LA. It targets homeless families with minor children and also very low-income seniors. I didn't realize that until I did a little more research on this. Upward Bound House has helped over 2,000 children. How do you get the word out for something like this with all the different organizations looking to raise money? How do you do that?
Well, that's what we always said is Upper
Yeah,
Bound.
move a little closer to the mic.
Upper Bound is one of what we think is the best kept secret in the west side of town.
It's wonderful, and it's a very organically grown group of people who are very committed to getting the word out about this. So
We are, and we have a 98% success rate of getting homeless families off the streets into shelter, and in a 9-month period in a home, and then they stay there for 5 years.
give me a typical story or example of what a family that you may happen upon. Do you find them? Do they find you? How does that work?
I think there's families all over, and unfortunately that base continues to expand. So
Very sad.
they'll reach out to family friends, they'll reach out to other people, and there's a collection, now that I've been involved, of different charities all over the place. So they may pop into a different charity source saying, look, I need housing, and then they'll get referrals. So there's people who may specialize in vets, there's people that specialize in other types of care. We do homeless families. So we'll take them with children only. And typically in a regular homeless family shelter, girls are here, boys are here, dads are there, moms are there. They go to school, they have a problem, they come home, and mom's
Mom's over there,
down there.
dad's over there.
So Upper Bound puts them in one shelter. So oftentimes, maybe the mom may have been abused, and now she's with her children. They don't want to stay at their home any longer. They
No,
need
and
to
you
find.
need to be together.
You need to be
You
together
can't just
in a home.
separate people. It's too emotional.
And then they're living in their car. They're jumping from house to house. So Upward Bound brings them in, and then they do services for them. So the mom gets some budgeting. They try to get them a job. We send them to other agencies to get their work clothes. The children go to school, and we do tutoring. So Mary and I do some tutoring after school with different groups. So it's a full care. So we get them housing.
Where is
and
the
we do
housing?
care.
Now, it's sponsored by Upward Bound, or do you
Yes.
perhaps place them? I know there's so many organizations that have housing. Is it designated that something that you?
Yeah, so
folks
it's a
have? Okay.
facility right in Santa Monica.
Okay.
On Wilshire and 11th.
Mhm.
And then we have a facility that was built brand new. You would never know it's a homeless facility. And then that's why how I got brought in to the board was we needed to expand the facility, so we added one out in Culver City. And now the need is so great, we're actually renting apartments throughout the city and been putting people in apartments. And then even once we get someone from Upward Bound into a unit or into a home, they come back for services after the fact.
So again, now you've located this family. You've placed them in a housing that is at least safe.
Yes.
Then what? Do you train them for jobs? Do you sort of assess what's going on? I mean, what's the next
So
step?
we do the outsourcing for, there's a group that will train them for the jobs. There's a group that will help them get the clothing for the jobs. There's different type, but we do the budgeting, we do the tutoring in-house, and then Google supplies a lot of food for so they have an office in Santa Monica, they send the food afterwards. Whole Foods sends their food afterwards. So we have a pantry on site. So in the people's apartment, they have a little kitchen, and they can go downstairs into the pantry and get food that's donated by people. So one of the needs that we really need often is grab and go, because the kids need to run off to school, and Whole Foods donates oftentimes their fruit and veggies before they go bad. Google does food, but the kids need grab and go breakfast. So we get lots of times drives from local schools or other people who will bring those types of things so the kids can grab them, walk up the door, and scoot out.
I believe we have some photos, don't we, Kurt, of some of the families and some of the. Here we go. So what are we looking at? I mean, I guess is this a housing facility, maybe where some of them might be?
Yes,
or?
I believe this. Now my eyesight is not so fabulous anymore. I just turned 50. So, but I believe this is the playground
You're
of
not
Upward
supposed to
Bound.
say
I know.
Especially with the way you
Bad.
look now. You look like you're 25.
We're going to keep David around. He's like a negative 10 year.
Honey, you're coming home with me. So go ahead.
To keep him every few years.
See why I sort of blend all my people in studio? It's like,
It's
from
great.
politics to makeup to Outward Bound House. It all goes together. All right, so go ahead.
It's all good. Yeah, so we have facilities on site, so they've got computers that they can work with. There's a playground there. We actually have a garden now, so we're actually growing our own food, and then we've got somebody
I
who's
love
teaching them
that.
how to cook with their food. So it's one of those to kind of teach them how to take care of themselves when they leave, which is why the success rate is so high, and which is why we created this run, which was,
So let's
you
talk a
never
little bit
know.
about the run that I'm also participating
Yes, thank
in.
you very
And again,
much.
you have to remember this is a podcast, so people see it everywhere. But it's of interest to people that they can do something very similar in their own communities. So just if you don't live in LA and you can't do it, it's okay. There's somewhere something else where you live where you can participate. I like a call to action for people to get involved. But in our community, we're doing a run. I think it's February 12th.
It is.
Okay, tell everybody a little about it.
So what we decided, so I became a board member, and I thought, no one knows this is here. And how can we do something and I had 2 children at the time, maybe 2nd and 3rd grade, and we're always looking for things for these children to do that make people feel that they're doing something and giving back a little bit. So we created this run, and we've gone to all the local schools and our friends and friends of friends. So the first year it was just 2 of the Upward Bound gals and myself, and then all of my friends.
Okay,
We
when
just
was
did a huge
that?
outreach.
What year was
5
that?
years ago.
Okay,
So
from
this is the
5
5
years.
anniversary.
Now, 5 years later, you've helped over 2,000 to place over
Yes.
2,000 children. Is that
Correct.
That's incredible.
Yep.
You must feel your heart must be swelling when you think about the good work that you've done, because to give back. I mean, right?
Well, the only thing I'm doing is kind of spreading the outreach, and then
Okay,
fortunately I have friends like you and Mary who come do the run, who help spread the word, and then people will come donate clothing or donate food or help donate sheets for them for their new apartments, or all those little things. But this is really what I wanted. We wanted to spread the word
About the walk run.
about the walk run. Well, and what the walk run was to spread the word that there is a facility in town that needs some assistance, and that there aren't all children have homes, and that there is a place that helps these individuals. So the run is on the 12th. There's all sorts of volunteer opportunities that you can come pass out water, you can help clean up, you can come set up. But there's a 1-hour run, and 100% of the proceeds of the registration fee go to Upper Bound. So there's no money to the streets, there's no money to the race provider. So if you pay your $35 race registration for a student, the $35 goes to Upper Bound. So if we get 100 runners, it's $35,000 that goes directly to Upper Bound to help get these people into homes.
Tell us the website, because for people who cannot show up that day, Mary, do you have something that you wanted to pass
thank
over
you.
to here?
Yeah, www.
Mary's like a great little assistant. I got to tell you,
she is.
I got to take her around. I have 4 more
So-
minutes. Oh, I have 4 more minutes to talk to you. So we
excellent.
could just keep this going.
Perfect.
But
yeah, so it's
let me have this.
homerunforkids.com.
Say it again.
www.homerunforkids.com.
Homerunforkids.com.
So running
Okay.
home, it's a run walk, and we actually have a kitty K that's, you run maybe like a block, the little kids. So it's perfect for like the preschool kids.
David,
and
you
the
should come out and
kindergartners.
do
You
this.
should come.
I would love to.
You know, I have
You
to
could
tell
bring
you,
your friends.
I don't know if you're a walker or a runner. I stupidly signed up to walk the LA Marathon this year. Let me tell you, I have never done anything like this. So, and I mean it. So if I can, again, I don't know if you're a walker or a runner, but if I can do that,
I can walk and run.
Yeah, can you?
Well, you should. It's
I'm
fun.
actually serious. It's a call to action, I like to say, and then it gets you involved, your friends involved, your business people involved.
Yes, definitely.
Just everybody sort of benefits, and then you leave with a bigger heart, and then you want to do more of it. I really
Well, not
believe
only
in
that,
that.
it was kind of helping kids. It's kids helping kids, but it's also a good environment to get the kids out to go for a walk. And
Yeah.
so it's a walk/run. Beach Bodies is one of our sponsors, so they do that P90X. So they actually are a big sponsor of Upward Bound. So they come do the warm up.
Nice.
Which is super fun. And then at the end, there's massage people, and there's people giving out.
I'm going for the massage.
Oh, beautiful.
The press juicery.
Wait, can anybody get that massage? Like, can I just limp and just say, look, I need a little
I'm
help
here.
here?
What date is this again?
Sunday the 12th.
Okay, perfect. I got to mark that.
I mean, I'll give you information on it. It's just sort of a fun thing for get everybody involved. And I just,
And there's a 7:30 run, an 8:30, and a 9:30. So if you want
Beautiful.
10K, 5K, but you'll see your friends, you can wave. We do have movie stars every year that show up.
well, I'll be there, of course.
Correct. Thank you very
Come
much.
on, so
It's a good see and be seen and do something good and feel good.
how much did you raise last year? How much are you looking to raise this year?
We raised about $75,000 last year.
And that's just from the run alone?
Just from the run.
How about aside from the run? How much money are you bringing in just from awareness from people out there who want to donate, but they're not around that day?
Well, we're a nonprofit, so we end up with an ultimate break even. So really, anytime we get extra funds, then we can go out and rent a few
Purchase
more apartments.
things and yeah, which is
we aren't
very
necess-
important.
Yeah. So we aren't necessarily, we purchase more apartment units so we can put more people in, and then we can add staff to service some more bodies. Really what we need are more facilities, and we love more Section 8 vouchers because those are a limited supply. from
More
the government.
facilities, which means you need to raise a little more money,
yeah,
which
for
means
sure.
just, getting everybody out there and having a good time
Yep.
to raise that money.
Yep.
Because that's what it's about. If you're out there and having a good time, it's almost like you're just doing something that you're enjoying, and you're not realizing what the benefits on the back end. So
And
that's
that's
a good
exactly
thing.
it. They all have a good time, and then it raises awareness of, oh, I'm lucky that I have a home that I come home to every day.
Oh yeah, and you do it once, you're going to do it twice. So this year you're hoping to sort of
5 year.
surpass that
We're absolutely hoping to
75,000.
surpass,
What are you
yes.
hoping to get?
But we'd like to be north of 100. I mean, every penny counts, and it's all well used,
Yes.
so we'll take everything we can get.
Okay.
And all the people that we can get, because it just shows good support.
It's a great environment. So, all right, everybody, do you hear
And
that?
we were in the press yesterday. Santa Monica gave us a little news press.
That's
Nice.
great. Got to get it
Good.
out there. So everybody hear that again.
You've
For
been
those who
helpful, so
can't
thank
be
you.
there, of course, those who can't be there, again, the website to donate is.
Homerunforkids.com.
Okay, let's give a shout out to you, David Hernandez.
Yay.
People can find you again.
You can find me on my Instagram is DavidMake74. You can find me at Nigel Beauty in North Hollywood. Also, you can log into NigelBeauty.com, Nigel Beauty Twitter, Nigel Beauty everything.
Wow, you're everywhere. And me, I'm our show is on Facebook at Kobylt and Friends. You can go to our YouTube page. It's under my name, Deborah Kobylt, and on demand on iHeartRadio. So whenever you want, I'll also be there with you. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. It was a really good show. Politics, Hollywood, and doing good. So that's what I like.
Beautiful.
Anyhow, another fun show of Kobylt and Friends. See you next week.
Yay.